The last thing she remembers buying for herself was a cup of coffee. Not a fancy one. Just a medium drip from the gas station on the corner of 5th and Madison. She sat in her car for 3 minutes, engine off, heater broken, hands wrapped around that paper cup, and thought, this is mine. This small, warm, quiet thing. Mine. Then her phone buzzed. Her youngest needed to be picked up from soccer. Her eldest had called the landlord again about the broken faucet she'd been meaning to fix for 2 weeks. And the coffee went cold before she finished it. That was 6 years ago. Her name is Linda. She's 44. She lives in a 2-bedroom apartment in Columbus, Ohio. And for the last 11 years, she has been the only adult in that home. Most people, when they meet her, say she seems put together. They mean it as a compliment. She accepts it as one. She's learned to accept a lot of things that aren't quite what they appear to be. But here's what they don't see. They don't see the 11 p.m. grocery runs because daytime belonged to work and evenings belong to homework, help, and dinner, and the particular kind of silence that only exists after children finally fall asleep. They don't see her eating whatever was left on their plates, so she wouldn't have to cook twice. They don't see her Googling how to fix a garbage disposal at midnight, watching a YouTube tutorial on her phone while lying on the kitchen floor in her work clothes, her back aching, her eyes half closed, a wrench in one hand, and the phone balanced on her chest. They see a woman who has it handled. They don't see the cost of handling it alone. There was a version of Linda's life that looked very different. She remembers it the way you remember a dream, the feeling more than the details. Sunday mornings with nowhere to be. Her husband, Daniel, making eggs in the kitchen while she read on the couch. The sound of 2 people existing in the same space without needing to manage each other. She was 28 then. She thought that version of life was just the beginning. She was right. It was the beginning, just not of what she expected. Nobody asks a single mother how she's doing. They ask how the kids are doing, which is kind of the same question, and also not the same question at all. When Daniel left, it wasn't dramatic. No screaming. No slammed doors. No dramatic revelation. He sat across from her at the kitchen table one Tuesday evening. The kids were already in bed, and said he wasn't happy, that he hadn't been for a while, and that he thought it would be better for everyone. His voice was calm, almost gentle, like he'd been rehearsing. Their kids were 6 and 8. She nodded. She didn't cry until after he was gone, and even then, it was in the shower, with the water running loud enough to cover it. She pressed her forehead against the cold tile and let herself have 5 minutes. Just 5. Then she turned the water off, dried her face, and went to check that the kids were still asleep. They were. She stood in their doorway for a long time, listening to them breathe. That's when she made a decision she never put into words, not even to herself. She just made it quietly, in that hallway, in the dark. She was going to hold this together, whatever it took. Within 3 weeks, she was back at work full-time. A job she'd scaled back when the kids were small, a position in healthcare administration that paid steadily and asked nothing of her emotionally, which was exactly what she needed. She called her mother to ask about watching the kids after school. Her mother said yes without hesitation, and Linda said thank you and hung up before her voice could do anything embarrassing. She built a routine the way you build a wall, 1 brick at a time, without knowing what you're keeping out until it's already up. Alarm at 5:47. Not 5:45, not 6 o'clock. 5:47, because that was the exact number of minutes she needed to get herself ready before waking the kids. Lunches packed the night before, in the same order every time. Sandwich, fruit, something crunchy, a note she'd started writing without quite knowing why. Little things, small jokes, sometimes just a drawing of a sun. Uniforms found and laid out. Drop off. Train. 8 hours of solving other people's administrative problems. Train back. Pick up from her mother's. Homework at the kitchen table while she stood at the stove. Dinner. Dishes. 1 load of laundry if the week had been merciful. Baths. Books. bed, then her own. And in the 11 minutes between lying down and falling asleep, she sometimes let herself think about nothing at all. That was the closest thing to rest she had. She told herself it was temporary, that once the kids were older, things would ease, that she'd have time, that she'd call her friends back. Rachel, from college, who had texted 3 times in the past 2 months, and Dominique, from the old neighborhood, who had stopped texting because Linda never replied. That she'd take that trip to Portland she'd been talking about for 4 years. That she'd sign up for the yoga class, read the stack of books on her nightstand, sleep past 7. She said all of this with such conviction that she almost believed it. On good days, she fully believed it. On harder days, she tucked the belief away like a photograph in a wallet. Not something you look at often, but something you want to know is there. There was a woman at Linda's office named Patricia. Nice woman, well-meaning, the kind who brought donuts on Fridays and remembered everyone's birthdays. One afternoon, Patricia passed Linda's desk and said, cheerfully, "You're so amazing. I don't know how you do it. You must be Superwoman." And then she walked away to answer her phone. Linda sat very still for a moment. She thought, I am not Superwoman. I am a person who has no other option. I am a person who goes home at night and cries in the parking lot for 4 minutes before going inside, because I don't want my kids to see my face before I've had a chance to fix it. I am a person who has eaten cereal for dinner 3 times this week because I was too tired to cook and too proud to order in again. She didn't say any of this. She smiled, turned back to her computer, and typed an email. That's what strength looks like from the outside. From the inside, it feels like swallowing something sharp and pretending you didn't. What she didn't expect was this, that the older her children got, the less they needed her in the way she was used to. She had prepared for harm. She had not prepared for quiet. The drop-offs became self-managed. The homework stopped coming to her. The dinners became separate. Her eldest, Maya, eating earlier before volleyball practice. Her youngest, Caleb, grabbing something from the fridge before she got home. The notes she packed and lunches had stopped being necessary years ago, but she'd kept writing them anyway, a way of reaching, of saying, I'm here. I see you. Don't forget me. She wasn't sure when she stopped writing them. She only noticed when she found a stack of unused index cards in the kitchen drawer one Saturday. Still blank. She adapted. She always adapted. Resilient. Capable. Strong. She'd heard these words so many times they had become armor, and without her realizing it, a cage. When people believe you are strong, they stop offering help. When people believe you are resilient, they stop worrying. But there's a particular loneliness in being strong. It tells everyone around you that you're fine. And when you're fine, no one checks. One evening, a Thursday in March, nothing special about it. She came home to an empty apartment. Both kids were out. She set her bag down, walked into the kitchen, and stood there. She didn't know what to do with her hands. She opened the fridge, looked at it, closed it, sat at the kitchen table, and put her hands flat on the surface. She realized she couldn't remember the last time anyone had asked her to sit down. Not because of a problem or a form to sign. Just sit. Rest. Be a person, not a function. She pulled out her phone, opened her contacts, started scrolling. Rachel, Dominique, her sister Karen in Phoenix. Name after name. And for a long, uncomfortable moment, she couldn't figure out who to call. Not because she had no one, but because she had spent so long not calling, so long being the one others called, that the idea of saying something true to someone felt like speaking a language she had once known and quietly, without noticing, forgotten. She put the phone face down on the table, and that was the moment. Not a breakdown, not a crisis, just a quiet Thursday, and a woman alone in her kitchen, finally still enough to feel how long she had been running. The refrigerator hummed. A car passed outside. Someone in the building was cooking something that smelled like garlic and butter. She sat there and let herself feel it, all of it. The 11 years of early mornings and cold coffee and decisions made alone and nights lying awake running calculations in her head. The invisible, unending labor of being the only person responsible for everything. She let herself feel it. Then Caleb came home, shoes squeaking on the hallway floor, asking if there was anything to eat. She stood up, opened the fridge. They made quesadillas together at 8:15 p.m., and he told her about practice, and she listened, and the moment passed. But she didn't forget it. She started making small changes, not dramatic ones. She signed up for a Tuesday evening pottery class at the community center, not because she had any feeling about pottery, but because it was hers. When she sat down at the wheel the first night and the instructor said, "Just try," she felt something she hadn't felt in years. She felt like a beginner, like someone allowed to not know what they were doing. She started answering honestly when people asked how she was. Not dramatically, just truthfully. When Patricia asked, "How are you?" in the break room, Linda paused and said, "Honestly, a little tired, but getting better." Patricia looked up from the coffee machine, actually looked at her, and said, "Yeah, me too." They stood there for a minute, two tired women, nothing more, and it felt more human than anything Linda had experienced in a long time. She called her sister Karen one Sunday morning, not to update her, just to talk. They spoke for an hour and a half. At some point, they were both laughing about something small and stupid, and Linda realized her face hurt from smiling. She hadn't known that was possible. Slowly, not in a clean arc, not all at once, she began to feel like a person who existed outside of her obligations. Her kids noticed sideways, the way kids do. Caleb came into the kitchen one evening and found her reading. An actual book, spine cracked, with a cup of tea she'd made just for herself. He stopped in the doorway. "You look different," he said. She looked up. "Different how?" He thought about it. "I don't know." Quieter. She didn't fully understand what he meant, but something in her chest loosened when he said it. Maya was 19 when she came home from her first year of college, sharper and more observant, carrying herself with the awareness of someone who had just spent 9 months seeing her own life from the outside. One afternoon she called Linda at lunch and said, "Mom, I don't think I ever really understood how much you did. Like, I knew, but I didn't actually know." Linda was sitting in her car in the parking garage. She pressed the phone to her ear. "You don't have to," she started. "I know," Maya said. "I just wanted to say it." 8 words. Linda sat in that parking garage for a while after she hung up. A fluorescent light above was flickering. Someone was honking. It was not a beautiful moment by any cinematic standard, just a parking garage on a Wednesday. But something moved through her that she didn't have a word for. Not relief, not joy, something quieter than both. She had not realized, until that moment, how long she had been waiting. Not demanding, not expecting, just somewhere underneath everything, waiting. That evening she drove home, made dinner, ate it with Caleb, and told him about something funny that had happened at work. He laughed. She laughed. The apartment felt, for the first time in a long time, like somewhere she lived, not somewhere she maintained. There's something nobody tells you about raising children alone. Not the exhaustion, not the financial pressure, not even the loneliness, though people sometimes gesture at it. What nobody tells you is this: you can give so much of yourself, so completely, for so long, that you begin to lose the ability to locate yourself at all. You become a role, a function, a person defined entirely by what you provide. And the truly insidious part is that you can do this with love, genuine, deep, uncompromised love, and still come out the other side not knowing who you are when the apartment is quiet and the lunches no longer need to be packed. You can sacrifice everything for the people you love most and still lose something that was never theirs to take. Something you gave away in small pieces without ever being asked. That's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault. But it is true. And the bravest thing, the hardest thing, The thing that feels almost wrong after years of putting yourself last is to choose to exist again. To say, I was a person before I was a mother. I am still a person in all the spaces my children don't occupy. I have a right to a Tuesday pottery class and a Sunday morning call and a book I'm reading just because I want to. Linda still lives in Columbus. Caleb is 17 now and 4 inches taller than her, which he finds endlessly amusing. Maya is in her 2nd year of college, studying nursing, which, Linda thinks, makes a particular kind of sense. Things are not perfect. There are still hard months, unexpected expenses, evenings when the weight returns. There are still moments when the old instinct rises. Manage, suppress, say, I'm fine before anyone asks. But she's learning to let those moments pass without building her whole life around them. She signed up for pottery again this fall. Her bowls are still a little lopsided, but her instructor says that's part of the character. She has decided to believe him. And sometimes, on Tuesday evenings, driving home with clay still under her fingernails, she stops at the gas station on 5th and Madison. Medium drip coffee. She sits in the car for a few minutes. Just her. Just the coffee. Just the quiet. And this time, she finishes it. If this story moved you, if you recognize something in Linda's life that you felt in your own, or if you're thinking right now of someone who has been carrying this weight in silence, please share this video with them. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer another person is the simple feeling of being seen. Leave a comment below. Have you experienced this? Are you living it right now? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. If this kind of storytelling means something to you, a like and a subscribe helps us reach more people who need to hear it. We read every comment. We see you. Thank you for being here.